guys, Holly here. I'm in my new apartment. This is in Jersey City, right across the water from Manhattan. And I know I don't really have a living room, but we're working on it. So today I wanted to share my experience because I recently did a road trip from Canada, where I was living, down to Jersey City here. And it was quite the drive. I mean, it was a 10+ hour drive. And I had to do that in the middle of a pandemic and also cross the Canada-US border, which is currently closed. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about my road trip, and at the very end, I'm gonna give you guys a little glimpse of what New York life has been like so far. So, let's just get started. Now, normally this is just a 9-hour trip. But because I had to do some work in Michigan, I actually went around Lake Erie the other way. This makes my trip 13 hours long. But don't worry, I break that up. The first part of my trip is a 3-hour drive that takes me across the US border. I stay in Michigan for a couple days before moving on. For the final 10-hour drive, I break that up into 2 days and I stay in a hotel along the way. I actually was a little worried about the border crossing because a friend of mine had just crossed and they questioned him. They asked for proof from his company that he was required to be back in the office. I mean, he had something because his company actually sent him an email, but I had nothing of the sort, so I was a little worried. So if they ever questioned me at the border, they could have just kicked me back. But yeah, luckily the officer I had was super nice. He didn't ask me those questions. I guess he just looked at all the stuff in my trunk and in my car, and it was very obvious that I was moving back. And he just said oh yeah, so the office is reopening. I'm yep, I'm going back. And he's okay, all right, go through. I was okay, thank you. Now that I'm across the border, I stay in Michigan for 6 days. I don't have much to say here, so I'll let you guys just listen to the music and check out some of the clips I took. Here we are, we're all packed. Look at all the stuff behind me. This is gonna be the start of the 10-hour trip, and I hope to make it 8 hours today. So this just happened on the highway. There's a crack on my windshield. Oh my god. It's hour 3 into the drive. There's only 7 more hours to go. Wait, no, I only have 4 or 5 more hours to do. Hi, coming to you live from the middle of a parking lot in Pennsylvania. I'm at a rest stop right now just to go pee. I have to pee every 2 or 3 hours. It's kind of just annoying, if anything. Anyway, I have 2 more hours to drive before I get to the hotel. It's kind of creepy here, so I'm just gonna keep driving. Kind of tired though. You can only listen to so much K-pop before you get sick of it. Okay, yeah, all right. See you guys soon at the hotel. I'm gonna knock out. But actually, I'm really excited. I'm already thinking about things that I could do when I'm in New York City, so. I'm not meeting the guy to get keys until like, I think noonish today. It's a 3.5-hour drive to New York. So that means if I leave now at 8 o'clock, I'll be there at like 11:30. Yesterday I was driving in the hills, the mountains. I don't know what it is that's in Pennsylvania, but it was a lot of curves, a lot of ups and downs, which is like super fun during the daytime. I think it's just not so fun at night because it's dark and curvy and you're like trying to stay awake and the K-pop's not working. So you're just like trying any sort of music you can to stay awake and eating dry bread in the middle of the freaking night. I don't know. Story time with this pita bread. I was talking about dry bread that I use to stay awake. This is what I mean. It's this like bag of pita bread that I got from lunch. I had way too much, so I was like, oh, let me just pack this so that I have something on the road. But the problem is, when it's like 11 p.m., you're driving and you're trying to eat this like super dry bread, and suddenly you're not choking, but it's like the food is just like going down your throat like way too slowly. I start panicking a little bit. I'm like, if this doesn't go down, I'm dead. I'm dead in this car. I'm driving. Like, bruh. I understand why they say you shouldn't like eat and drive at the same time now. Like, cause man, if you choke, like you and everybody else on the highway is dead.